everybody. It's Randy Hilarski here. Today I have the lead tech contributor to Epic Cash. I have Todd. Todd, what's going on down in, where are you? You're in Brazil.
Yeah. What? How's it going, man?
It's going good. We're both complaining about our heat waves. It's summertime for Panama and summertime for Brazil. My AC is working good.
It's pretty much guaranteed to make everybody in North America hate us, right? Like, my pool is so hot that it barely cools me off in the afternoon.
I have to go down every day this time of year. We won't have rain for another 2 to 3 months. It just totally stops raining.
Yeah.
And the biggest worry here is the Panama Canal, keeping enough water.
Yeah, you run out of water, the money stops, right?
Yeah, everything's attached to the canal here. They totally socialized this country, connecting it all to the canal. So yeah, that's a bummer.
In fairness, the canal made the country, so.
Yeah, it sure did. We're pretty wealthy because of it. My son has a nice future ahead of him, and I think everything's going well. And all this news going on in Iran with the Suez Canal, not Suez Canal, but the Straits of Hormuz, which lead to the Suez Canal. And if there's less traffic going to the Suez, that means they all have to come through the Panama Canal, which has higher fees than the Suez. So it all equals out, but Panama will actually benefits from problems with Iran.
Right.
All right. So we're here to talk about Epic Cash and what's going on with our community.
And we each have news, right? This is pleasant.
We both have news. So I mean, for those that don't know, I'm on the team as well. We are a 100% voluntary team, and I do continue to manage the social media channels. So Todd, tell me what's going on with this new Android update.
Yeah, so we ported Epic to Android, and that was mostly a matter of getting it to work on the ARM processor. So for mining and whatnot, parts of Epic are very highly tuned. And they're highly tuned for the x86 because that's the platform people run on desktop. So it took a little bit of work to get it running on ARM. We got that done, and then we've been hooking it up to a wallet. So mobile wallet for Epic is an exciting development. Mimblewimble coins work a little differently than other coins do. So we're excited to have a Mimblewimble wallet, and that's running. We're about to do a beta release. And people can help us debug it and get some experience with it and provide feedback on it.
Great, so, great. I think we do need an Android wallet. Obviously iOS would be important too, but I think for the
and the door's open to iOS. We just haven't done it yet, so we're starting with Android.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna say because the Android, most of the world uses Android. iOS is the first world countries. Maybe a lot of people use it, but like everyone I know down here in Panama, everybody uses Android.
Yeah, and for the mission of what we're trying to do with bringing money to people who need it, people that the traditional banking system doesn't serve. I say we. That's my personal favorite aspect of our mission, right?
Right.
And for that, Android is absolutely the priority in terms of bringing payment services and bringing money to people. I call it finishing the monetary revolution, right? The billion people at the bottom of the economic ladder who need money and the ability to do commerce and the ability to do payments. So for bringing financial services and payments to them, Android's absolutely the most important platform. But we do care about iOS. We do want it. No one's objecting to iOS. It's just a question of priorities. There's no real technical impediment to our doing iOS. It's just a matter of getting to it. So hey, if anyone wants to volunteer, step up, check out our Git repo and start working on the iOS port. That would be very welcome. We'd be happy to support you in that.
Yeah, we're always looking for people that want to help develop the project, and also people that want to help spread the word. I could always use help on social media if you want to come in and retweet something or share something on Facebook. We're always looking for that. Join us in the Telegram where I post anything that's pertinent to get it out there.
Yep, and likewise with the tech team. People show up and ask if they can help, and we point them at the repo, and we run an open development process. All of our issues are public. All of our development is public. So it's really a pretty straightforward process to join and to help out.
Well, I don't know if you've seen lately that the Mimblewimble privacy coins are starting to get a lot of attention. I know that that article came out saying that they weren't private, and that guy, he supposedly, a researcher, went and found that it wasn't private. And then one of the founding devs of Grin said, dude, this is all bullshit. We already knew this stuff. This has all been worked on.
Yeah, I mean, the article basically said, oh my goodness, Mimblewimble works exactly the way that Mimblewimble is documented to work, right?
Exactly. When I read it, I was kind of rolling my eyes.
When you submit transactions to a global chain, part of that is visible to the people on the global chain. That is true.
Exactly. So I mean,
I actually have to exchange information with other people in order to be able to put transactions on the chain. Yeah.
I was thankful that the Grin dev came out, because I'm not a technical person. So if I wrote it, people would have just blown me off, right? Like, oh, Randy Hilarski, he's just a marketer / blogger. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But when one of the lead devs of Grin comes out and just takes a hammer and smashes all of the research the guy did to beat.
I appreciated that too. I drafted a response, and I was advised by one of our guys I probably should send it.
Yeah, it would have been great marketing. Okay. All right, so I want to roll out the good news on the other side, and that is the fact that,
man. Like, tell us about the exchange news.
Yeah, we got listed on Vitex exchange last week. Vitex is a decentralized exchange, different than anything I've ever used. You can actually, I'll put the video here at this part. So if you want to watch that video, how to use Vitex, just click on the video here. It's really interesting. I never thought of a decentralized exchange working like this. Usually, it's you load from a wallet that you already have, right? If it's a decentralized exchange. Well, this one you actually have to download their mobile wallet. It's called Vite, and that is where you send your Epic Cash to. So on your phone, you have something called the Vite wallet, and just their wallet, and it shows all the coins that you have. Obviously, this is really our first wallet because Epic Cash can come here and you could just hold it on your
mobile
phone, right?
First mobile wallet.
First mobile wallet, yep. So you can load your Epic Cash to your phone this way, but then in order to trade on the Vitex exchange, you have to transfer your coins from your mobile wallet to your exchange wallet. And in order to do that, you have to log in on your computer to Vitex exchange. And then you can trade your coins. You can't trade on your phone. You could just you change your coins from the mobile wallet to the exchange wallet, and then you have access via your computer, and you have to put in your mnemonic phrase, you have to put in your passcode, your name on the platform, whatever it is, and just access and trade that way. I thought it was really bizarre at first. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why are they doing it like this? But hey, it works, and I've had no problems either sending or receiving coins. I practiced with both ways, and it worked just fine. So I recommend everyone check it out.
Sure. So yeah, I've been hoping to. I've been like, it's like I'm a buy hodl user, right?
Right.
And buy hodl seems much more of a traditional exchange, right?
Yeah, until you try to take coins off. Or wait, when you try to register and when you try to take coins off, it's a little bit different. That was a learning experience for me as well.
Right.
They send you a code to your email, and then you have to there's a specific password you have set up in order to withdraw funds. So there's a lot of people were having confusion in the beginning because it is a Chinese company.
Sure. And if I were just off the street and I wanted to take an Epic position, Vitex lets me take some Ethereum, put Ethereum into Vitex, and sell the Ethereum, buy some Epic, right?
Actually, you have to change to Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin Epic pair.
Okay. So Bitcoin in, Epic out, Epic in, Bitcoin out, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's all they have right at the moment. Hopefully they'll add USDT and Ethereum, or maybe some other pairs, or even Grin and Epic. Who knows? That'd be a cool pair, actually, I think. Just because Grin is one of our.
It would.
Yeah. Let's support the other privacy coins. I think that'd be pretty cool. So the one thing Todd and I were
talking
about.
Allies and
exactly. One of the things I was telling Todd about is everyone says decentralized exchanges they don't have any KYC. And the first thing I came up with, like, so if I have to have a Vite wallet on my phone in order to use Vitex exchange, guys, that's KYC right there.
The wallet that you downloaded from the Android store on your Google ID. Yeah.
So if people don't believe there's these exchanges have KYC, they do. It's just a different version. It's a backdoor way of getting our information.
Well, you have as much privacy as you create for yourself as a technical matter, right? And like, to me, the biggest impediment to creating privacy are the stories that people tell themselves to convince themselves that privacy is there when it is not. All right.
It happens all around the world. I mean, that's what Cambridge Analytica pretty much said the same thing. Like, you guys are putting your information out there for us to take advantage of.
Right. And so, to me, like, the single best thing you can do to protect your privacy is be less credulous when people tell you these happy stories about privacy, right? And be more critical and analytical about what information people can get. Like, try to reason from first principles, and try to seek out, negative analysis and negative opinions of people telling you you have less privacy than you think, you're giving away more information than you think, and here's how your information is leaking out. And think yourself critically about how your information leaks out. And that's psychologically a daunting thing to do, because if you value privacy and then you start thinking critically about it, then your perception of how much you have goes down. But the reality doesn't go down, right? In fact, that's the key to getting the reality up, is being honest with yourself about how difficult it is.
Yeah, look at you. Todd, you've got multiple kids. Each one of those is a risk when it comes to security, right? Every kid that you have attached to the internet in your house, you have no idea what they're doing, what they're attaching to, getting involved in online. So it's like another channel of risk. Oh man, it's just today's day and age. Oh, this is a segue into privacy. You were talking, what's going on in China right now?
Oh yeah, so I think they're making mandatory biometric registration for phone numbers. You have to submit to the facial recognition database and whatnot. But cameras these days cost a few dollars, and the price is going to continue to go down. So being connected to the internet, putting a processor on a camera, that stuff just gets cheaper and cheaper. And the cost, not only to governments, but to anybody, of building video networks and collecting video data, is low and will continue to go lower. And the AI to do facial recognition just continues year on year to become better understood and more accessible. So I'm not sure how one would go about in the world without cameras recognizing who you are, and that's just a fact. That's just
I have a very well-known friend that loves security, and he throws a fit every time he comes through an airport, and they're making him do biometrics. Here in Panama, you have to do biometrics when you come into the country.
Sure.
And he throws a fit.
I don't know what he thinks is happening on his phone or in retail stores.
Or anywhere.
Where his picture is being taken and his face is being recognized. Yeah. You're bouncing the photons off your face, man. What? And that kind of I think it is just wishful thinking, right? That wishing the universe were a different way than it is, or wishing that other people didn't have the capabilities that they have, and a lot of privacy enthusiasts I know really struggle with this, right? Where they prioritize their wishes ahead of the reality in terms of what's possible.
Well, at least with Epic, we can keep our money semi-private. It depends on how much you want. If you want to use
it gives us tools.
Yeah, but if we use like me, I don't use the file transaction. I just use the HTTPS transaction. So I send my coins from my IP address to another IP address, and it works fine for me. I'm not trying to hide my transaction, but they're still private, and that's what matters to me. If the police really wanted to do some research, they could figure it out. But whatever, good luck to them. It's going to be a lot of work. So there's another thing too. I just saw that someone posted today that 1984, the book 1984 by George Orwell was taken off of the books to download list on Amazon. Pretty bizarre.
Yeah. Well, actually, they didn't take it off. They just moved it to the informational section. It's no instruction manual.
It's a wild world we live in. It's so funny because are we going to look back someday and when all the money is digital, all of it is blockchain-based digital, are we going to look back and say, oops, did we push the wrong thing? When they have 100% control on us, they got that noose around our neck because they control all the money and the money supply, and they could take away your funds out of your account. That kind of thing. They could put tainted coins, say you have tainted coins, and send you to prison because your coins 10 transactions ago came from illegal transaction. Are we going to look back and say, man, what did we do?
I don't think so. And here's the reason why. Is this isn't the first time that we've given governments and banks infinite control over digital currency, right? They've had that for the past century or so, and here in Brazil, Brazil's had more hyperinflationary episodes in the past century than any other country in the world. So, this was actually not the major reason why I moved to Brazil, but it was on my list of positive factors that influenced me to want to be in Brazil. Is if the world undergoes a hyperinflationary crisis. All right, say the dollar collapses. Not that it will, but it could. The money supply's up 8x since pre-financial crisis or whatever in the U.S. Anyway, depending on which measure you use. So, in that scenario, where would you rather be? A country with no recent experience at hyperinflation, or a country with a lot of recent experience at hyperinflation?
I'd rather be in Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah, Argentina's kind of a nice place to be if the dollar collapses because, oh no, hyperinflation. And the grandma's like, it's Tuesday. Tuesdays are a popular day for hyperinflations, kid.
Yeah, I was in Argentina in 2016. It was, I think it was just about 4 or 5 years after their last one. And I'll tell you what, people were still suffering, but they had the weirdest stuff going on. I don't want to go into it because it is kind of deep, but you could go in and buy, we were in a store and Anna needed to buy some stockings because it was kind of chilly. She wanted to wear some stockings. And the lady in front of her was buying a pair as well, and she put it on credit. It was only like a $10 item. And the lady's like, would you like to pay this in 20 payments? And the lady's like, yes, of course, because of the inflation. She knows she's end up getting it cheaper.
Brazil has the same thing.
Yeah, weird, right? I was like, this is a culture shock for me, and I'm a gold and silver guy, so it kind of blew my mind. This is what I don't want to be dealing with. So give me my Bitcoin, give me my gold and silver.
Well, and this is the thing, it's not like they have a new capability to crank the currency. That's been there for a long time, and the modes of discipline that the market imposes on them are still the same, right? So digital money, it does let them target individuals more effectively, but it's not like governments have previously lacked tools of control over individuals either.
Yeah.
So the natural ways that society and government regulate each other and, reach détente and some kind of stable relationship between them. Those mechanisms are still there. And as the details change, you just find new equilibria. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and the currents wash back and forth. But economically, there's always the flight to real goods.
And you can easily change. We can always change jurisdictions like you and I did.
Yeah, I mean the global harmonization of banking policy and whatnot. That one cuts both ways too. But there's always the choice of how many assets you hold in monetary form, right? There's always the choice of the flight to real goods as a response to irresponsible monetary policy. You just hold less cash, and that manifests in small ways. My wife and I were having this argument this weekend. She got back from a hot run. It's the summer down here, and we were out of Gatorade, and I complained. I'm like, Gatorade doesn't go bad. It's full of preservatives. It's hermetically sealed, and we have a big pantry. We should have 500 Gatorades in the pantry. I'd much rather hold the wealth in Gatorade form than in Brazilian currency. Like, what? Like, can we please just hold some inventory, right?
Anything.
And that kind of life.
It could be rum. It could be whatever.
Yeah. No. Actually, whiskey I keep a stock, so we're good on that.
All right. Hey, whatever works.
We don't run out of whiskey. We don't run out of whiskey at the Lewis household.
All right, Todd. Let's get back to Epic real quick.
So like, regardless of what they do with the currency, you can always stock up on whiskey, Gatorade, toilet paper, and meat. Meat's the other big one that they do down here in Brazil. Get a deep freezer, and when beef goes on sale, load up.
Yeah.
We always have that choice.
We have a problem with that here in Panama because they export all the damn beef to China. Even though we're one of the largest,
producers.
We just export it all. All right, I'm going to share a screen really quick because I want to show people our Block Explorer, see what's going on here. Right now, our circulating supply is at 3,436,976 Epic.
Right on schedule.
Yeah, we still got a long ways to go, guys, until we hit that 21 million. Our block time is 1 minute, for those that don't know, and we do use 3 different algorithms, as you can see here. We got Cuckoo, ProgPow, and RandomX. So is there anything you want to say about what's going on with the different algorithms from the tech side? Are we seeing anything unusual or
I tell you, I mean, the big thing we've seen is the usual, which is changes in mining behavior have been handled well by the chain. So we've been really happy to see that. That was a big part of the work that went in was getting the multiple algorithms tuning well and able to adjust. And the target difficulty adjustment has been working great on the.
Look at that ProgPow. I don't even know what that number is. It's so many digits.
Hashes per second. It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So cool. Everything. It's really cool that you guys built a system that's working great. It's been working great since September 2nd. Thank you for that.
Knock on wood, right? So,
yeah. It's exciting. I think this is going to be a good year for Mimblewimble coins. And of all the coins out there, we're actually the lowest price, I believe, if you do the whole market. The market cap of our coin, I think we're the lowest. Maybe Bitcoin's lower than us, but we're poised to have a really good breakout. And all it's going to take, I believe, is CoinMarketCap listing, and we need one more exchange, CoinMarketCap exchange, for that to happen. And then some good news for Mimblewimble coins, and me just continuing to talk about Mimblewimble, and letting the world know about Epic Cash too. So. I think it just makes sense, have a basket of Mimblewimble coins, because not all of them are going to perform the same. Beam has big corporate money behind it, obviously, so that's why they continue to do well. They only have one mining algorithm though, and what we've learned is having multiple algorithms kind of protects you in case something funny goes on with the one algorithm.
Yeah, and that flexibility flexibility and resilience that the multiple algorithms give you is something that was and remains a big part of the vision for Epic.
Yeah, whose idea was that? Was that your idea, or was that Max's idea?
No, it was Max's idea. But we investigated it and then went and implemented it, and have been really happy with what it does for the security properties of the chain, and also the fact that the diverse mining communities behind Epic mean that the chain is able to adapt to the economics of the overall cryptocurrency mining ecosystem in adaptive kind of ways that are really, really healthy. So, an issue with one of the algos, doesn't affect the other algos. And so we have those deep reservoirs of heterogeneous mining. And it really, really helps. Even when there are big movements in one of the algorithms, it doesn't disrupt our overall hash rate the way that it does a single algorithm chain. So it was a different decision that we made, different than a lot of people, but we're really happy with how it's gone and positive on what it means for the resilience of the chain going forward.
Yeah, it's just something you don't see very often in crypto. Most companies just pick one with proof of work and go for it. So this is something that's different with us, and hey, in the end, it might play out big.
Well, and the other thing, it's not even one. The question is, are you going to turn the steering wheel and then weld it in place? Because one algorithm is actually something we can do. One algorithm is just a particular setting of our multi-algorithm engine, right? So it's not even that you decided to do one algorithm, because we're perfectly capable of doing a single algorithm. So what we did was we engineered the ability to adapt and easily change the algorithm mix over time, right? So if we wanted to go back to single algorithm, it's just a config change for us to do so. Whereas for a single algo, it's not just a single algo, it's single algo and it's inflexible. So it's a huge engineering exercise for them to retrofit to go multi-algo. Whereas for us to go single algo, you update the config file, we agree the block, from a consensus point of view where it happens, and off we go.
That is great. That's great news.
That flexibility to roll with the punches and evolve with the crypto ecosystem, to me, creates a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to handle whatever the ecosystem throws at us in the coming years and have Epic be
I don't know if you were paying attention what happened with Monero when they switched algorithms. It was a lot of controversy. So it's a lot easier to have 3 different algorithms and just cut one off if you want it. Thanks for getting already with it, right? And just, okay, we're going to stop doing this one. Then to try to change your whole system over to a new algorithm, that would be a pain in the ass.
Approach, yeah.
All right, Todd.
No, that was it.
All right. Well, I think we've had a good discussion, enough meat on the bone here for people to take advantage of. Thank you for taking the time.
Great, man. We always say this, but we really should be doing it more. So.
I know. It's just, guys, I don't know if you know Todd, he runs his own company. I have my own marketing company. We're busy guys, and the Epic Cash team is 100% voluntary. So we're trying to get the word out and, do the best we can. Whenever there is news, I promise I'll be sharing it. Well, thank you, Todd.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. It's good to see you, man.
All right, cheers.
Ciao.